real solutions to money, relationships, wellness, and more. Shine a light onto your day and into your life. Power Your Life with Dr. Joanne White.
Hello, welcome to Power Your Life. I'm Joanne White, your host, and my first guest is making it her mission to tackle the education of children from the outside in with her program Healthworks Academies. Dale Keshishian is the CEO, and she's here with me now. Welcome, Dale. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So a while ago, several years ago, you went to a leadership conference and you heard something very astounding that shook you up and created Healthworks. Tell us what that's about.
It was a conference at Jefferson University, and it was centered on educating physicians for 2020 and beyond. It referenced the senior population, the uninsured, and the baby boomers, and highlighted the fact that a third of the nation's physicians will reach retirement age by 2020.
So that was pretty astounding, and that got the wheels in your brain turning, and you thought that we needed to do something to create and to help build the health field and the health sciences and related field. Yes, STEM. What's STEM?
Science, technology, engineering, and math. It's a focus that is prevalent in primary education now for global competition, but certainly important in healthcare. And with baby boomers and the retiring generation, but also ensuring the uninsured, and changes in the way that we deliver medicine. It opened up a door that we need to really transform the pipeline, both in numbers, but also in
careers.
In education,
right.
How we educate the workforce for the future.
So you came up with this incredible scheme, which I think is fascinating, and it's going to go national, and actually you're going to really start it in, well, the pipeline has been working, but you're going to really launch it in September. And
That's
that
right.
is to really provide training and mentoring to students, and also to go into the schools and to the professionals to provide them with information in healthcare. So what's the goal of the program?
It's a pipeline program. So when we looked at 2020 and the changes in the industry, we recognized that education really needs to change. The delivery of medicine is going to be very different in 2020, given the scale, given the economics, given the transformation in technology. And so we look to the high school students to link STEM education and what they're learning in school with professional career opportunities in the health sciences.
So basically what you're doing is you're going into the schools to help stimulate interest and learning for these kids, these high school students, to be able to then translate that information and go on into the fields. And it's not just nurses and doctors. What other aspects are involved in your academy?
We are looking to engage and inform students across the board in clinical medicine, but also in healthcare IT, health policy, public health, research, education, finance, law, biopharma, medical devices. So really across the board. And when we work with our students, we really look to for them to identify their skill sets, their interests, their aptitude, and connect them with career opportunities in all of those areas.
So it's interesting, Dale, because one doesn't necessarily think that healthcare and health services involves all of those different professions, and yet they do, and you're weaving it all together in your Healthworks Academies. So what's the goal? Because it seems like a wonderful goal, and you want to take it national. What are you going to be doing in September to launch it?
Well, we're working in Delaware County to launch our program, but the ultimate goal is to create a national program that can be implemented in any school, public, private, charter, religious, tech, in any geographic location, urban, suburban, or rural, with the goal of creating a pipeline for professionals. So our goal is a national pipeline of students going into the health sciences. We want to include diversity in that pipeline. We know that populations are changing, and we don't have, likewise, populations in professional careers, and leadership skills for next generation delivery.
So we were talking before, and what I think is fascinating and I think is so important is the mentoring aspect. Firstly, you're going to be going in and training teachers, but then the other piece of it is that you're going to have mentors. Tell us about that, because I think that's going to be so very effective. Mentoring is brilliant.
Well, what we've found with students, and a vast majority of students, have great skills, empathy, all the components to be great in the medical field, but they don't have somebody in their sphere of influence. And on the healthcare side, the industry is changing very quickly. And so our mentoring program works with, to connect high school students with industry and with an electronic platform in the middle. But the goal is to connect students from high school through graduate school. So they always have somebody in their sphere of influence.
And it may not just be somebody in the industry, it could be another college student, it could be a peer, and how do they figure out, how do they know who's the right mentor and how that process goes so it's effective?
Well, there are a couple of different things. In our program, we get students out of the classroom and into the workplace. So students may look at clinical medicine thinking that they want to go into that, and when they get into the environment, they, oh, you know, maybe that's not for me. But when they do align with an industry, we pair them with an industry mentor. But understanding that it's a long timeline from high school through graduate school or high school through college, there are also other mentors along the way. So we can pair a high school senior with a college sophomore, for example.
So the mentoring program can be effective, and it can be with all aspects depending upon what that student needs and that student's interests. Dale, I wish you so much luck, because I think this is so important and such a viable thing to happen. Good luck with it.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. When we come back, she's best known as the bratty, mean little girl on Little House on the Prairie. Actress Allison Arngrim is all grown up, and she's joining us after the break. Thank you. Our next guest is best known as Laura Ingalls' rival on the Little House on the Prairie. And this year marks the show's 40th anniversary. Here to talk more about that is actress Allison Arngrim. Allison, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, you just got back from France, but you're incredible, because I just love what you do. And it must have been very hard, very, very hard growing up on camera and being the brat and having people dislike you. How did you handle that?
Well, right. I mean, it's kind of like that darling boy who plays King Joffrey on Game of Thrones now. There were people who thought it was for real. I actually had someone throw a cup of orange soda at my head during the Santa Claus Lane Hollywood Christmas parade.
Is that recently?
No.
Oh, you mean a long time ago. But you still have
17 years old, height of the show, and somebody hit me in the face with the soda. Now they seem to know that it was a performance, and they're a lot nicer to me. But I still sort of scare people. People are intimidated by me because of the character. It's kind of strange.
Do you like playing the villain? Did you like that then? Do you like that now?
Yes and yes. I do think the villain is often the most interesting role, and in my case, I thought Nelly was absolutely the best part of the show. I thought it was hilarious that I got to be her. And now these kind of like villain parts are even more popular than ever. And right. You know, it's fun to make fun of. The fact that I was just so incredibly awful on the show is kind of hilarious. So it's a lot of fodder for my stand-up act and my book.
Now, speaking of your book, and also the fact that you're going to be in Philadelphia, I think it's the weekend of the 25th, which is coming up really soon. Tell us a little bit about what we're in store for.
Yeah, I am everywhere this year. I just got back from doing shows in France, and on Thursday, April 24th, I'm going to be at a club called Voyeur in Philadelphia, and it's over on St. James Street, and it's a wonderful, wild, crazy place, and I'm going to go on 8 o'clock, and I will be scandalous and terrible. Well, you know, my book title that half the people can't even say on TV, Confessions of a Prairie Bitch. It's also the name of my show.
Close your ears.
So I will be bad and evil and bad and terrible and scandalous and funny. And there's a question and answer period, so you get to ask me anything you want.
Well, you're a comedian, and so that's part of the act. But also, when you wrote this book, you were revealing a lot of information and that people did not necessarily know about you as you were growing up on the show. And that's about the physical and sexual abuse that you sort of went through. So how was being on the show therapeutic for you because of what you went through?
Yeah, it was very weird. I was abused for about like 6 to 9, so before I became Nellie Olson.
Wow.
And so right when I was 12 and, hitting adolescence is the hardest time for everybody.
Right.
And then going with keeping the secret and dealing with all the issues surrounding sexual abuse for someone growing up, I suddenly get this job where I'm playing this incredibly mean, awful person. And one of the things that people who've been through abuse have is, a lot of sort of unfocused rage. And here I was playing a character who just dumped her rage every single day, all the time, on everyone. And it really allowed me to let a lot of that out. And as opposed to holding all of those negative emotions in for years, I had the ultimate therapeutic safe space to let it all hang out.
So it was cathartic, and it was a way to really help you heal from some of that. I don't know if that anybody really heals from that. You've been very active working with an organization to help families and people who are undergoing abuse. Tell us about that a little bit, please, Allison.
Yeah, and I find the activism really helps a lot. And as Nellie, I mean, I was very shy, and here I was playing this really loud, out there character, and now people are afraid of me. So I'm on the board of the National Association to Protect Children and Protect.org. And what we've done is we've changed laws in over 7 states and many things also at the federal level. Wow. To better protect children from predators. We're fighting the problems with child pornography and trafficking on the internet. We've changed laws regarding the incest exception and other loopholes that have allowed child predators to go free with no prison time. It's really kind of crazy. Unfortunately, you'd think that someone who sexually assaults a child is caught and convicted, going to go to jail. It's kind of a crazy quilt of laws all over the country, and many of them actually allow people who have repeatedly raped multiple children to serve no jail time. So we're kind of seeing to it that changes.
You know what I didn't know, and I think that's so powerful, is that organization, and with your help too, is changing laws so that people are getting caught and that there aren't any more victims, and that's important. Tell us a little bit about what the relationships were like on the show.
Well, it really was. I mean, people say, oh, our show was like a family. Little House, it really was. We're still friends now. We're having all these reunion things because of the 40th anniversary, but I still talk to people from the show. We still hang out on Facebook and Twitter and everything else. It really was an incredible environment. The chemistry between the actors, I think that's one of the reasons it still holds up, is there's such chemistry between the actors, our relationships. I mean, Melissa Gilbert and I playing mortal enemies, right. And we were actually best friends and having slumber parties at each other's house.
And you're still friends with her, right?
Absolutely. No, I was just emailing her the other day.
So what was it like working with Michael Landon?
Michael Landon was absolutely crazy. He's one of the funniest people I ever worked with. I mean, wow. I always said, a poor Minnesota dirt farmer with a $300 Beverly Hills haircut. This man, he liked practical jokes. He was so not Paul Ingalls. I mean, Michael Landon, he smoked, he drank, he was married 3 times. He was not actually a farmer in Minnesota. He lived in Beverly Hills and drove a Ferrari. But he was wonderfully funny and crazy and full of life, and he was very good with the kids on the show. He was really an unusual person.
Allison, you've been so wonderful, and I love what you're doing to support people who've been through abuse, and we will see you in Philadelphia. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you.
My pleasure. When we return, it's time for spring cleaning. Stay with us for tips to get your home spotless and even healthy at the same time. Thanks for being here. Finally, the weather is warmer, and it's a great time to shed any leftover germs that are lingering in your home with a good spring cleaning. Here with advice to keep your household healthy and clean is Linda Vertlieb, the founder of Frugal Philly Mom. Welcome, Linda.
Hi, thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure, and look at this. So First thing is, oh my God, what do we do first? So it's spring cleaning, and everybody loves that, but if you're like me, I do so much. I need somebody to kind of help organize me. What do we do first?
You know, it's great. You know, we've been having a harsh winter, so I think as soon as the weather warms up, we're going to rush outside and enjoy it. So a great way to start is actually cleaning up your outdoor furniture and patio furniture.
So getting it all ready.
Exactly. So with that, I'd like to recommend a product like Thieves Cleaner, which is an organic with essential oils. It's also safe because, you know, patio furniture is something the children, the whole family actually sit and enjoy and get a lot of use out of during this warm weather. So this is a really great product.
So I actually use this. I'm glad that you used it for the furniture because you gave me this great idea. I use this in my kitchen. It smells fantastic, and even though it's a little bottle, you take a little bit of it and you add water to it,
yes,
and you can keep cleaning.
A little bit goes a long way, so yeah.
But it's healthy too, right?
Exactly, it's organic, so it's definitely safe for your family.
Okay, let's get to those closets.
Now we're going back inside now that you've
been
have fun outside. Well, once you get back inside, you'll notice how cluttered and getting out your winter clothing, and it's a really good time to declutter and empty out your closets.
Okay, so I get that. It's really important, and we kind of switch closets. We move the winter stuff somewhere else. You can be packing them in another closet or storing them or whatever you do.
Exactly.
But you also suggest kind of, what's the rule of thumb here?
Is to actually, you know, consider donating to a local Goodwill. It's a great way to actually help your community because it creates jobs, job training, and also a great way to clear out your space in your home.
Right.
Exactly. So if you haven't worn anything in about a year and you haven't really thought about it, and then you see it, it's a good time to maybe consider, you know, giving it to new life to another family.
Now, I love the idea of giving stuff away, but you and I have a problem with, I go into my closet and I have all those good intentions and I'm ready to, okay, some stuff that I may not have worn, and I think about that rule that you're just talking about, if you haven't worn it in a year, I can't let go of it. What do I do?
I actually try to think about where, you know, if you're not going to wear it, think of someone else that could really, really use it. There's a lot of families out there that can use it.
So maybe the way of giving can override that. I don't know if I'll ever wear it again, so I'm going to hold on to it.
And I also remember, like, I haven't worn this in a year. Am I really going to wear it now?
I have something, you don't want to hear, but I have some things in my closet for like 3 or 4 years that I haven't worn, and I'm not even in love with it, but I just don't seem to part with it. So I like the idea of giving it away because that kind of can help do that. Now you have some other things. You have something called wash drops. What's that about?
Wash drops is actually a great way to clean your car. It's very earth friendly. A little bit goes a long way. You could actually wash your whole car with 1 gallon of water. And the best thing about this is that it's biodegradable. So after this, you're done washing your car and there's no rinsing involved, you can actually water your garden with this solution.
So it's healthy for the environment.
Exactly, and it's a great one to get out, get all the salt and the snow, just move past it and wash your car.
That's wonderful. I never heard of this, Linda. And the other thing is, we were talking earlier about making washing the car a family affair.
Exactly. As I said, it's a great way to go out and save some cash instead of going through the car wash, to get the family together and chip in and wash your family car.
It's fun, and like you said, it gets the family together, and it's really important. What are those wipes over there?
These are dryer sheets, and we're talking about transitioning from winter to spring, and it's a great way when you're packing away your winter comforters, winter throws and sheets and bedding, to actually throw in a dryer sheet. It helps keep it fresh while it's packed away for the summer months in the heat in your home. So it's a really great way to, when you open it up again in the winter again, that's fresh and ready to use.
You don't necessarily have to bring it to the cleaners unless it's got really stains on it or whatever. You can use that and save money and
keep it fresh.
Great.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your blog and what it means to be frugal. How do you teach people to be frugal?
I think in this day and age, being frugal is much more common and not something that you should be ashamed about. Being frugal is easy to do, and I started Frugal Feeling Mom as a resource for local families with children, and if not, and it's a great resource for people to learn how to save money with families.
So what's a saving money tip other than what we've just been talking about?
I think a great way to save money is actually utilizing your smartphone. It's more than just for texting and Facebook. There's a lot of apps out there that can help you save money, and stores nowadays will scan the coupon right off your phone, so you don't have to worry about printing or misplacing coupons.
So again, you're helping the environment by not using all that paper, and you're getting the discount or the savings.
Money saving
Right on the
coupons
phone.
right off your phone.
Give us one more tip, Linda. You've been great.
I think saving money is important, and you should also make it a family ordeal. You should also help teach your children early on how to save money, and when you're saving money, to show them that you're also making an effort to not overspend.
So it's not necessarily teaching them that there isn't money. It's just teaching them to be wise.
Wise with their money, exactly.
Okay, and that's really something that's very important and will follow with them like throughout their growing up.
Just little things make a big difference.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I think that with all of this here, there's certainly many ways not only to save money, but to be clean and to be organic and to really help the environment.
Exactly.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Linda. It's
you.
been a pleasure. And remember, spring cleaning is something that you can do and get organized, get rid of the closet stuff, not like my closets, but make sure that you're giving things away so that in a way you're giving back. We'll be right back with Power Your Life to find out what's up next. There's a powerful connection between your mental health, emotional health, and your physical health. Is stress getting in the way of your thinking, your relationships, your sex life, your sleep, or even the way you're handling life's daily challenges? It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to interfere with your life if you have an active plan that can manage your stress. First, you need to identify when you're stressed out. Know what the signs are and find ways that you can manage it. There are so many different ways, like gardening, laughing, listening to music, meditation or prayer, or even talking your concerns over with a close friend or a coach. Did you know that any kind of aerobic exercise can calm your mind and lower your stress hormones in just 20 minutes? Even light exercise can relax you and can have those favorable results. So don't let your stress win out. It's always there, yet you can tame it and you are in charge. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on Power Your Life. And our next week's show, she's a relationship expert, a matchmaker, and a TV personality who starred in the VH1's reality show, Why Am I Still Single? The fabulous Siggy Flicker joins me next week. I'll see you then, and remember, you have the power to power your dreams and power your life. Thanks for joining me.